ones that we shouldn't eat as people?
Well, the kind of foods that we should be eating, today is World Cancer Day. And we all know that prevention is better than cure. And as a lifestyle medicine physician, I'm interested in primary prevention, which means preventing the disease from occurring in the first place, so all the things. Then secondary prevention, once there's occurred, what do we do? Tertiary prevention, how do we rehabilitate people who have already had it and all that. So primary prevention, from the primary prevention perspective, and even the secondary prevention perspective, I will advise people to take whole food, plant-based diet. And what that means is that to limit the amount of processed foods that you take. All this processed food means food that has undergone several manipulations, with several stages in making them come to be. And some of these are like like the cornflakes we have, all these cereals that are on the counter, over-the-counter cereals that you can pick up from any supermarket and stuff like that. So we're talking about you eating plant-based foods predominantly. We're talking about whole food, which means unprocessed, which means if you're going to take yam, for instance, I'm not looking at that yam that is produced by one company, that you say poundo yam. We don't know what that is. That's a processed food. So we're talking about, if you're going to take yam, then just take yam as it is, boil it and eat it with plenty of vegetables and fruits, and then take a lot of beans, legumes, because that's a very excellent source of protein and fiber. And studies have shown that fiber is important in for the gut microbiome. There's this new thing we're talking about, new phenomenon of the gut microbiome. There are a lot of microbes in the intestine, in the colon, that are responsible for fermenting the food and are responsible for how carbohydrates are absorbed and digested, and the blood glucose levels and everything. So these things should be borne in mind. When you're taking foods, take a lot of beans, take a lot of fruits and vegetables, take a lot of whole grain foods like oatmeal, and yam. If you're going to take this complex carbohydrates, then take a lot of sweet potatoes. They're also very complex carbohydrates, so they don't allow the blood sugar to rise, to spike rapidly, because that is where the problem lies. So these are the kind of foods you're going to take. And if you're going to take, we've always said it, if you're going to, in the morning, you have to eat like a prince, and in the evening you eat like a pauper. So you're going to eat, the most of the calories should be in the morning, whatever you're going to eat from this diet I've described. And then in the evening, let's say by 5, just take a fruit or some vegetables and all that. If you're hungry late in the night, make sure you stock up enough fruits and veggies that you could nibble on, because a lot of these cancers and other chronic diseases are actually born as a result of eating improper diet, which is laden with plenty of sugar, plenty of salt, plenty of saturated fats, which we get in palm oil, and even this granite oil that we take about that is really very unhealthy. And then meat. You see, look, when we talk of processed meats, a lot of people now feel that once they're well off, they could actually, afford all these canned meats, these processed meats like sausage, shawarma, all of that. All those bacon, all those things, WHO has classified them as class 1 carcinogens, which means they are capable of causing cancer. They are in the same category as smoking. When we talk about smoking, don't smoke, we say also don't eat sausages, don't eat salami, don't eat all these processed meats. Then red meat itself is also a probable carcinogen, as classified by WHO. What it means is that don't eat so much of it. Try to limit eating it, because it may cause cancer. You understand what I'm trying to say? And eggs also. Studies have shown that if you eat more than 3 eggs in a week, you're doubling your risk of becoming diabetic. And if you're already obese, you're quadrupling your risk of having cardiovascular disease. So eggs, you must limit them. Even whole cream milk, all that, you must limit that. Yogurt is okay because it does have some protective effects over cardiovascular disease, but it has to be unsweetened yogurt, non-fat dairy. But even that, we try to downplay that. We want people to take more of plant-based foods. Fish, it's okay, you can take it in moderation. Chicken is all right, but still take it in moderation. Generally, what we're saying is cut down on animal-based foods for several reasons, and I can't go into all of that. And then eating late. You see, if you eat the same amount of maybe like a piece of yam and all of that, or Quaker oats in the night, and you eat them in the morning, yeah, they may be the same amount of calories, but physiologically they are not. You find that you've actually eaten more if you take in the evening, because the body by that time is resting, so the metabolic rate is slowing down, and more of that, the body will extract more of that to store in the fat cells. And what causes all these diseases, all these illnesses that we're talking about, these chronic diseases, including cancer? Part of it is obesity. Part of it is that increased fat, excessive fat in the fat stores, because that leads to inflammation and a lot of reactions thereof that that are cascaded, and that cause a lot of metabolic derangement, which culminates in hypertension, diabetes, cancer, all of that. So that is why we need to look at our nutrition. But we shouldn't also look at it in isolation. We should also simultaneously move more. Make sure we exercise enough. Even if we start with 10 minutes a day, that's great. But the guidelines say 150 to 300 minutes a week, which means you should aim at exercising 30 minutes to 1 hour every day. Then thirdly, you must ensure that you have adequate ways of managing your stress. Don't let the stressful environment get to you. Don't let that happen to you. You should, because studies have shown that it's how you react to situations that actually matters. People could piss you off, people could annoy you, but how you react to those situations and what will determine your response and the hormonal response to whatever is happening to you. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, because if you react, you might, if you quickly react, there's something we call amygdala pause. If you quickly react to those things and you have a maladaptive, what we call a not very healthy way of adapting to stress, then you might have an excess of cortisol released in your system. Then, of course, you've heard of adrenaline, the fight, flight, and fright hormone, and all those things could cause havoc in your system. Raise your blood pressure, everything. So, fourthly, you need to make sure you sleep well. Sleep well, restful sleep. Make sure that you do everything possible not to have your TV screens on for like an hour before you go to sleep, because blue light is associated with delayed sleep. Make sure you don't take alcohol close to the period when you're going to sleep. Don't take coffee, close to the period when you're going to sleep. And then you try to have a good environment for sleep, as in make sure that you don't do things, you don't read on your bed. Make sure the bed is just kept for sleep and other bed-related activities, but not for reading and any other thing. So like when you go to sleep, then sleeping, the duration is also very important. Apart from the quality of sleep, the duration is important. 7 to 9 hours of sleep is what is recommended. Then happiness and positive connectedness. When you talk about happiness, we also talk about, we talk about your emotions, making sure that you have more positive emotions than negative ones. You understand what I'm saying? Studies have shown that when you have 3 positive emotions to 1 negative emotion, you are more likely to thrive. Because negative emotions are more powerful, more dangerous, they're more potent than positive ones. Therefore, you should have a positive mental attitude. Then you must realize that you have to, when you have social support, family support, you have people that you can talk to, people you can relate to, people you can confide in, you tend to be stronger, and more resilient to stressful situations. So you have to also take out time, recreation, take out time in nature, take out time to have a break. Down here we just believe in work, and no break. And that's why a lot of people are breaking down. I'm sure you've heard of people committing suicide and stuff like that. And even these chronic diseases we're talking about, stress, psychoimmunomotivation, you find that the immune system drops and cancer sets in. So we need to ensure that happiness, positive connectedness, and positive psychology, right, are taken care of. Then, very importantly, environmental hazards, environmental pollutants in the air could cause cancer. But a lot of that is going to be taken care of by advocacy. It's not something we can do personally, but something we can do on our own is to stop smoking. Stop smoking. It is the root cause of several cancers. Predisposes to several types of cancers. The most important of which is lung cancer. There's so many other cancers. Cancer, the gastric cancer, esophageal cancer, so many others. Then we should also ensure, finally, that we keep obesity at bay. By the time we do all these things, you find that you lose weight. And when you lose it, because there are so many cancers that are predisposed to by obesity. For instance, you have endometrial cancer, cervical cancer, which is very common here among women, prostate cancer, ovarian cancer, kidney cancer, esophageal stomach cancer, liver cancer, gallbladder cancer. These cancers are predisposed by obesity, and so we have to keep obesity at bay. At the same time, obesity also predisposes people to hypertension, diabetes, and some people call metabolic syndrome. So, and we have a lot of people, if you check, most people come around here with diabetes, hypertension. We have a lot of people that come down with cancer. So if we can actually follow these steps, we're most likely to have healthy people, better health outcomes. We think health is wealth, basically.
Thank you very much. In fact, I don't need to ask further questions because you have explained everything, even things that I couldn't have been able to probably mention before to you. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Tell us once again your name.
My name is Dr. Obianma Onya. Yes. I'm the Deputy CMAC in charge of cervical here. And I'm also a chief consultant family physician and a board certified lifestyle medicine physician.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'd like to have your contact. I think you need to come to the studio. Thank you so much.